Have you ever wondered what it's like to live with PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder? It's a term we hear frequently, but what does it really mean? Today we're diving deep into the world of PTSD to give you a clearer picture of this complex condition. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a mental health condition that can develop after a person experiences or witnesses a traumatic event. This could be anything from a car accident to military combat to a natural disaster or even a personal assault. It's not just the big events that can trigger PTSD, even seemingly minor incidents can have a profound impact depending on the individual's perception and personal resilience. PTSD is not just about having bad memories, it's a persistent mental and emotional stress that can take over a person's life. It's like a shadow that follows you everywhere, constantly reminding you of the trauma you've experienced. The symptoms of PTSD are varied and can be quite intense. They may include intrusive memories of the trauma, flashbacks where the person feels like they're reliving the event, nightmares, and severe emotional distress related to the traumatic event. Individuals with PTSD may also experience hypervigilance, where they are constantly on high alert, and avoidance of anything that reminds them of the trauma. But it's not just about the emotional symptoms. PTSD can also bring about negative changes in mood and cognition. This could mean persistent negative beliefs about oneself or the world, feelings of guilt or shame, and a lack of interest in previously enjoyed activities. There may also be alterations in arousal and reactivity. This could mean being irritable, having angry outbursts, behaving recklessly or in a self-destructive way, being easily startled, or having difficulty concentrating or sleeping. PTSD can significantly impact daily functioning, relationships, and overall quality of life. It's not just about dealing with the past, but also about struggling with the present. Imagine living in constant fear, anxiety, and distress. This is the reality for people living with PTSD. To understand PTSD better, consider John's story, a veteran who served in a war zone. Meet John. He's a war veteran, a proud soldier who served his country in some of the most harrowing conditions imaginable. Like many soldiers, John's wartime experiences left an indelible mark on him, defining his life in ways he never expected. These experiences led to what we now understand as post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD. During his time in the war zone, John was exposed to intense combat situations and he witnessed scenes that no human being should ever have to see. The visceral, gut-wrenching horror of war was etched into his psyche, creating wounds that ran deeper than any physical injuries he sustained. When John returned home, he wasn't the same. His family noticed it first, the way he would startle at the slightest noise, as if he was back on the battlefield. He was always on edge, his body tensed as if ready to spring into action at any moment. This is what we call hypervigilance, a common symptom of PTSD. John's nights were no refuge either. His sleep was plagued by nightmares, replaying the traumatic events he had witnessed, as vivid and terrifying as the day they occurred. These intrusive memories, another hallmark of PTSD, would invade his waking hours too, manifesting as sudden, uncontrollable flashbacks that left him shaken and disoriented. The trauma also began to affect John's relationships. He found himself pulling away from loved ones, avoiding social situations that might trigger memories of his experiences. This avoidance, yet another symptom of PTSD, created a chasm between John and the people he cared about, leaving him feeling isolated and alone. John's mood and cognition also took a hit. He started to view the world through a lens of negativity, losing interest in activities he used to enjoy. His thoughts were often clouded by guilt, shame, and a sense of hopelessness, all common emotional responses in individuals living with PTSD. The cumulative effect of these symptoms began to impact John's ability to function in his everyday life. His work suffered, his relationships strained, and his overall quality of life dwindled. But like many others, John's story didn't end here. John sought help. He reached out to mental health professionals who diagnosed him with PTSD and started him on a treatment journey. Through a combination of cognitive behavioral therapy, exposure therapy, and medication, John began to learn how to manage his symptoms, reclaim control of his life, and improve his overall well-being. John's story is a stark reminder of the torment of PTSD. It's an illustration of how deeply trauma can affect an individual's life, but it's also a testament to resilience, to the power of seeking help, and to the potential for recovery. John's story is just one of many that illustrate the torment of PTSD. The symptoms of PTSD, like those experienced by John, can significantly impact an individual's life. This disorder extends its reach beyond the mind, seeping into every facet of a person's existence. It's like a shadow, constantly lurking, ready to cast a pall over even the simplest of daily tasks. PTSD has a knack for turning the familiar into the frightening. Everyday sounds can morph into triggers, stirring up a storm of anxiety and fear. The honk of a car horn or the slam of a door can be enough to pull someone back into the heart of their trauma. This constant state of hypervigilance can make it nearly impossible to find peace, even in the safety of one's own home. The emotional toll of PTSD can also lead individuals down a path of substance abuse. Alcohol, drugs, any means to numb the pain or to silence the intrusive thoughts that come unbidden. It's a desperate attempt to regain control, to feel normal again, but unfortunately it often only serves to exacerbate the problem. Depression is another unwelcome companion of PTSD. The world can start to lose its color, its vibrancy. A heavy blanket of sadness and hopelessness can smother joy, motivation, even the will to get out of bed in the morning. It's not just about feeling down, it's about feeling trapped in that darkness, with no end in sight. PTSD can also strain relationships. It's hard to connect with others when you're wrestling with your own inner demons. Loved ones may struggle to understand, to know how to help. This can lead to feelings of isolation, creating yet another barrier to healing. The impacts of PTSD extend to every corner of an individual's life, from their mental and physical health to their relationships and daily functioning. It's a disorder that can rob a person of their sense of safety, their happiness, and their hope for the future. But it's important to remember that PTSD is not a life sentence. There is help available, and with the right support and treatment, individuals can learn to manage their symptoms and reclaim their lives. PTSD is not just about the trauma, it's about the lasting effects that follow. While PTSD is a severe condition, there are treatment options available. Let's delve into the common treatment methods for post-traumatic stress disorder. The first line of defense usually involves psychotherapy, which is a type of counseling. One common form of psychotherapy is cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT for short. In CBT, individuals learn to identify and change thought patterns that lead to problematic emotions, feelings, and behavior. This therapy helps them understand and change the way they perceive their trauma and its aftermath. Another type of therapy often used is exposure therapy. Here, the individual is gradually and safely exposed to the trauma they experienced in a controlled environment. This approach helps them confront and gain control over their fear and distress. Eye movement. Desensitization and reprocessing, known as EMDR, is another therapy method. EMDR involves focusing on hand movements or sounds while talking about the traumatic event, which can help change the way the brain processes memories and reactions. It's important to note, however, that therapy isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. What works for one person may not work for another. Therefore, treatment plans are usually tailored to meet the individual's specific needs and symptoms. Alongside therapy, medication is often used to manage symptoms of PTSD. Antidepressants are commonly prescribed to help handle feelings of sadness, anger, worry, and numbness. Sometimes other medications like anti-anxiety drugs or antipsychotics may be used depending on the individual's symptoms. Lastly, we must highlight the importance of seeking help and support. It's crucial for individuals with PTSD to remember that they're not alone. There are many resources available, including support groups and hotlines, that can provide immediate help. Moreover, reaching out to trusted friends and family can make a significant difference. In conclusion, while PTSD can be a challenging and life-altering condition, effective treatment options are available. These treatments aim not only to manage symptoms, but also to equip individuals with the tools they need to navigate their daily lives. With the right treatment and support, individuals with PTSD can regain control of their lives. PTSD is a complex and challenging condition, but there is hope. As we've discussed, post-traumatic stress disorder can arise after experiencing or witnessing a traumatic event. It can usher in a storm of intrusive memories, flashbacks, nightmares, and severe emotional distress tied to the traumatic event. Individuals with PTSD may also grapple with hypervigilance, avoidance of trauma reminders, negative mood and cognition changes, and alterations in arousal and reactivity. This condition can significantly impact daily functioning, relationships, and overall quality of life. However, it's crucial to remember that help is available. Treatments typically involve a blend of therapies, such as cognitive behavioral therapy and exposure therapy, along with medication to manage symptoms. With the right treatment and supportive network, individuals with PTSD can learn to manage their symptoms and enhance their quality of life. Remember, it's okay to seek help. No one should have to live with the burden of PTSD alone.